We are live.
All right.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Dart.
And I'm Lisa.
All right. We're glad to be here tonight with you and glad that you showed up with us. Or if you're watching this on replay, we appreciate you just joining in. Someone shared this with you. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Dart, everyone keeps asking us to do a teaching. So tonight it's going to be us doing a teaching.
Right.
So
We have no guests. But I'll tell you what we'll always love to start out with is tell you what we believe. And that we believe that life is made up of relationships, health, and wealth.
yes.
And we also believe
And God.
and God.
And God.
Yes, we do.
And
prayer.
Absolutely.
And forgiveness and blessings.
Oh, we need that a lot too.
Yep. Patience.
Grace, mercy.
Yes, exactly.
Y'all tell me you had a rough week. Anyway,
Right.
no, we do believe that your planning for your financial future, it should be fun. We want you to have fun now,
Absolutely.
make memories. That's what's important. That's
Yeah.
what we carry with us, our memories. But
Be painless. Just get a little guidance.
yes, but we want your retirement to be fun so that you
Yeah.
can enjoy the all the things that you plan for, you know,
Right.
whatever you're dreaming
Your
for.
health and your relationships, and it's what spending time with grandkids and loved
Yes.
ones and friends.
I was going to say grandbabies.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So tonight, Dart, we're going to talk about buckets.
Yeah.
We are going to talk about buckets. Oh, and I need my chalk.
All right. Yeah, because we have learned over the years is that when people approach retirement, they've not thought about doing tax planning. A lot of people, they've just worked hard, they put their nose down, and they've saved, they're great savers, but they'd never thought about how taxes were going to affect them in retirement.
Right, and sometimes it's too late. Like
it's shell shock.
So that's why we feel like this is an important teaching.
Yeah. Well, one lady told us, she goes, but we just did what they told us to do.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
so
let's educate a little bit.
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah.
So bear with us.
We'll have some fun.
Yep.
And then hopefully it'll be very enlightening for you.
Yes.
And unless if you got 5 or more years before you retire, this is a great time. If you got 40 years before you retire, then that's even better. That's right. Yeah.
Yes. But you know what? Our sweet trusty hall monitor that we adore, McKenna, is running behind. So if you have questions,
Yes.
bear with us and we'll have to get back with you. And we can
Yeah.
talk about that later.
Because we can't talk and type at the same time.
Can't talk and type. Walk and chew gum.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or ride a horse.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
So-
Although we were supposed to go horseback riding yesterday and it rained.
and it rained. So
Yes.
maybe
next week.
It was been postponed. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's get to the tax bucket start.
All right.
Absolutely.
So bucket number one, Vanna.
I won't take offense to that. Here we go. Mercy and forgiveness already.
Thank you, Van. Is tax now.
Now.
Right.
Oh, here we go. No chalk on the chalkboard sounds.
All right.
All right.
And then our next bucket here would be tax later.
Later. Okay.
Right.
And then what's our last bucket, Dart?
Is tax advantaged.
Advantaged. Yes.
We love tax advantage.
We do. All right. So I'm trying to not make it squeak.
All right.
All right. So
All right.
let's scooch back over here to the first bucket,
So
Dart, and talk about what goes in the tax now buckets. Let's give them some examples of accounts and tax bucket.
Excellent.
This tax
Okay.
bucket now.
So first one is just a savings account.
Yes.
And so it's taxed now because you earn very little today, but it used to be a big thing. But we used to earn good interest in tax and savings accounts.
Sure.
So savings and CDs. And so when you get a interest statement at the end, and it comes in the form of a 1099, and so you have to add those up and put them on your tax return. So it's getting taxed in the year.
Yes. And another example of tax now accounts would
Say investments.
yes.
And let me give you a couple examples of that while she's writing that on there. So like you have stocks and you earn dividends, then that is you get a dividend statement at the end of the year, and so that comes in as a 1099 DIV, and you have to pay taxes on that because you took it. And you say, well, I reinvested it. Well, that's, you still get that 1099 DIV. Also, investments in mutual funds is that sometimes you don't even have to sell the mutual funds. The manager is making changes inside the mutual fund, and that kicks out a 1099 for you.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So also
CD.
CDs, and these are type things that you get.
So you've already paid taxes on
Yeah.
it, right? You've already paid your taxes
Right.
up front,
Right.
like after your payroll
Right.
tax.
Another example of investments is in bonds. You know,
Yes.
so
Good one.
yeah. So well, what about municipal bonds? Well, they're tax free. That municipal bonds are kind of tax free over here, but they actually get counted towards your income if you're on Social Security. So
Yes.
so municipal bonds are good pre Social Security, not so much after Social Security. So
That's a good little point that
Mhm.
sometimes people don't think about. Thank you
Right.
for that little added. Yes. How about
for
tax?
that unplanned advantage.
Yes, it is. So let's talk about the later account.
Tax
What does
later.
that look like?
Well, I tell you what, there is there's an instrument that's widely used
Mm-hmm.
and you get talked about a lot. Usually it's whenever you're working for a big employer or small
Mhm.
employer.
Oh, can y'all guess what that is?
What do you think it is?
I think it is the 401k.
There you go.
Yes.
That's right. So 401k. So it is what's called a tax qualified plan. So you hear about tax retirement plans, qualified plans. So these are, I remember another one here that we can put in this category as well. So like for instance, 401k was lumped that into if you also a 403b. Also, if you work for a nonprofit or if you work for some school teachers, federal employees or TSPs.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
457.
Yeah, 457s for state employees.
All of that. I'm going to write those.
Yeah. So they're very similar. They have different rules and different guidelines, and so nothing standard about it. It actually can go from employer to employer. That even be the same, one of the same, but be different from employer to employer. So it just need a little guidance to help in that way. Now, another thing is kind of common is as an IRA.
Yes.
All right. And if you're self-employed, then you can either put money into an IRA or they have what's called a SEP IRA, which means a self-employment pension. Okay.
I do think this is important because we're talking about, are we gonna come back
Yeah.
and talk about
Yeah.
this about?
Yeah, let's
okay.
kind of put
Let's do that.
because we want to spend most of our time in this bucket here for good reasons, because this is where a lot of people have made it challenging to do tax planning post-retirement without anything prior to that. So,
Right. So let's make our list for the tax advantage.
So the tax advantage over here is that a Roth IRA,
yes.
which is a tax qualified plan. And the big thing about a Roth is that you don't get any deferment. So you're paying after tax dollars into the Roth. It grows tax deferred and it comes out tax free. And so
we love those words.
That's right. That's right. Also here, we have a private reserve account, private reserve contract. Okay. And so that is used with a life insurance. We're not going to do a lot of time on that tonight. We want to spend more time in the middle bucket. But this private reserve is very powerful because the 100-year-old tax language that was written to make this possible to have it tax advantaged is where the Roth IRA came from.
Yes.
They stole the language right out of the tax code.
Yes.
And so we can go back and access the tax code here, make this advantage. We're very good at doing this for our clients, and we've made very happy. So when we come back to, some advantage and disadvantages of this account.
Oh, yeah.
So the advantages of this is like your emergency fund. This is you can get your cash get cash out,
Liquid.
stuff. Liquid, fix things. It's liquidity it's just great things in this because there's not a tax wrapper on it or anything like that. And so you need to pay attention to how you're investing and how much, and that's another story. But we're just looking at taxes only tonight.
Yeah.
So this is good. And then the disadvantage is that you have a 1099 every year, so it's adding to your taxable income on top of your normal wages or however you make money. Over here, so the advantage of putting money into this is
it comes right out of your payroll.
Most of the time. It's easy to save.
It makes it
because it's one of the, if I don't see it, I'll save it.
Right.
So it helps with that saving.
Yes.
Another advantage is what?
Is if they have a company match.
That's right. Yeah. So, and so for instance, it's like they say, well, if you put 5% in, we'll match 5%. Sometimes they say if you put 5% in, we'll give you 3%.
Yes.
So,
I think that's always good to go back and double check. So if
right.
you're getting this from your company,
it is not standard. If I can't say that enough.
It's not standard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go back to your HR department, check.
Yeah, you have to. And so if you're going to, all these are just tax labels, and every tax label has a set of rules.
Right.
So if you're going to sit down and play a game of dominoes or cards or Uno or shoot pool, you really want to know the rules before you start playing if you want to win.
Wait, I like to win.
Exactly.
Like to win?
That's
Yeah.
right. So we love knowing the rules of the game because we love to win. And so a lot of people play by the rule. They play this game without knowing the rules.
Right.
And I've had clients get mad because I told them the rules. They get upset. I mean, it's been crazy.
Or they get sick to their stomach because they've saved all their money and don't realize they haven't paid taxes yet.
Right. Yeah. They don't know because, we'll give you a lot of examples on that. A lot of examples on that. It's been, one cried and says, I just did what I was told to do. So, so back to this. So the disadvantages to this. Well, one of the disadvantages is that we have to kind of go back to the idea of when this was created. 401ks, and it had a ripple effect for all these things. Started in 1980. Yeah. Prior to that, just didn't exist. So it's a 40-year experiment.
And that's a great word, Dart. Experiment.
That's what it has been. It's been because what was happening 1980, companies were tapering off pensions.
Yes.
All right.
And tax rates.
Okay, we're getting there. Right. So
am I getting ahead of you? Sorry,
Dart. That's okay. That's all right. Yeah. So pensions were tapering off. The companies were having trouble funding, overfunding. 1980s, that's whenever, companies started selling, it was built to sell and things like that. So that's going on in the industry world. Also, IRS had their hands in our pockets. Our federal marginal income tax rate in 1980 was 43%.
Yes. Can you believe that? Can you imagine?
43%. Now,
so what is it now?
In 2020, it was 12%.
Wow. And a lot of times people are saying, oh, we pay so much taxes.
Right.
It's nothing compared to back then.
We do a lot of what is your real tax rate by, looking at, income and so forth for all of our clients. And sometimes we see the real tax rate is sometime in the 9s to 10. All right. But imagine, so why is this important? So
right.
In 1980, at 43%, whenever they said, when you retire, because you're going to be supplemented with Social Security and you're taking less money out, then you would be in a lower margin when you retire.
And they presumed the taxes would be lower because they were at
such a high rate. At 43. Yes. And so that's where that, if you've heard that, we've had people come into our conference room and say, well, when we retire, we'll be in a lower tax bracket. And I say, what causes the tax bracket? And is it your age? Is it the fact that you retired? What is it? Oh, it's your income. Oh, well, you make $100,000 now. How much do you want to make in retirement? Well, I want to make $100,000. Well, okay. So what is going to determine? And they go, oh crap, your income. So this taking money out of these buckets is just like you're still working from a tax return standpoint.
Exactly, Dart.
Right.
That is so important. Did
Right.
y'all catch that?
Right.
Yes. Say it again.
Taking money out of these buckets in retirement is just like you're still working.
Absolutely.
Right.
And Dirk, could we just talk for a minute about taxes?
Mhm.
Like they're so low now, but we
Right.
have had some things going on.
So before we go there, so one more advantage of it in 1980, 43% tax rate. By deferring the 43% taxes, deferring that tax till when you could take it out later, you actually got an internal rate of return just on, not over the investment, not what you put it in, not what you invested in, but just the fact that you put it in the bucket. It was like 9.2%.
Yes.
So it was very advantageous. Now,
Yes, it was.
what happens is now that tax rates have gone down, that has been eliminated to where it's only like 0.6 versus 9.2.
Right. That's a huge difference.
Right. So now when we look at, and everybody has their own situation, are you at your peak earning years? Are you, if you're in your 40s and you're still in your trajectory to earn more to get to your peak earning years.
Right.
So if today is your lowest point of income, then you are at your lowest tax bracket you're ever going to be in your life.
Yes.
Because so now we ask everybody, do you think that taxes at 12%, are they going to go lower? Are they going to stay the same? Or are they going to go higher?
What do y'all think?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Everyone agrees. I think they all think they're going to go higher. I mean, we've had some major things
That is
going
unanimous.
on.
That is unanimous. We don't want to get into the reasons why, but there's a lot of reasons why. And it's just a lot of reasons why. But right now we just talk about, in reality, we believe, and everyone that we talk to, economists and so forth, is that taxes are going to go up. And so if you're
I like to watch that little debt clock, that my app on my phone, the US debt clock calculator. It's just constantly, the numbers are turning. It's like
So in 20 years, when we're back at 43%, maybe it's a good time to use a 401k then. But today, why would you postpone tax to take it out at a higher rate? Because your standard of living is going to be higher 10 years, 15 years, 20 years from now. You're going to take it out at a higher tax rate, and that's where Uncle Sam is going to collect his mortgage dollars. So I give you kind of
it's definitely something to think about, right, folks? Unless they're getting a match. I mean, of course.
So let me give you this little side note, only 30 seconds, is that a lot of times we have people that come to us at age 65, they're ready to retire this year or something. And we say, well, how much do you have? And they go, oh, they're so proud. They got $1 million in their 401k. And we ask the question, well, how much of that is yours? And they say $1 million. And we said, okay, let's cash it out today. And they go, oh, no, we can't do that. We'll have to pay taxes. Okay, so how much of that is yours? And it's the first time that they've been asked the question. And we're just trying to help guide them.
Right. That has nothing. We don't set the tax rate.
That's right. But everybody needs a good guide.
Right. And I think that's why this little educational video is important.
Right. That's right. So it's the first time they realize that only $600,000 of that is theirs, unless they're strategic about the way that they take it out and so forth.
Absolutely.
So we don't want people to get to 65 and
suddenly realize all of their money is in a bucket. They've been working hard
for the wrong reason. So tax diversification is very important. So ideally is that, or I say at least what you need, if you understand the 3 tax buckets, is that a third is a minimum of what it needs to be. Now, what we typically see, 80 to 90% here, 10% here, little or nothing over here. There is always, we see a $2,000 and $3,000 Roth IRA and $850,000 in a 401k. So it's like,
right.
Yeah.
But what we'd love to see,
right. What we would love to see is 20, 30, and 50.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about income in retirement. So most of us don't have a pension or not working on a pension. There's some that are.
There are very few.
But if you are, the pension from an income standpoint goes into this bucket.
Yes.
All right.
Because it's all going to be taxed as
Taxables.
income.
That's right. So if you got a pension and everything in this bucket, it's like you never retired from a 1040 tax return.
Right.
You are still continuing and you will still pay the same tax rate. So there's no miracle lower tax bracket. I hate to bust your bubble if you believe that. So,
Not your fault, Dark.
but it's better that you know the rules,
right?
And because you're going to play the game, or pass on. So if so it's like 100% of people who live to retirement are going to need an income in retirement. So it's just best to know how to play the game.
Yes.
So over here, Social Security, from an income standpoint,
yes, let's talk about that,
is tax advantaged.
Yes.
Because if you're only taking out Social Security, there's no taxes.
Right.
You don't even have to file a tax return.
Right. But what if most of their income in retirement is coming out of this bucket? Dark?
Then all of a sudden the domino effect, is that you, depending on whether you're single, married, this is not a Social Security class, but single, married, and the amounts, and then it's really easy to Google those amounts.
Yes.
All right. Is that you could be taxed up to 50% on your Social Security, all the way up to 85% of your Social Security.
Right.
All right. Which is just a little sneaky tax that comes in. That's not, that no one's addressing that.
Yes.
Everybody looks at the rates and fights over the rates, but and it's just a little sneaky tax.
Right.
So, and then that's where that municipal bonds takes away that advantage as well.
Yes.
All right. And so it's one of those things. So, and then if you can do it through a private reserve, if income can come out of this, the provision allows it doesn't have a place to go on your tax return, that it will not affect your Social Security as well.
Yes.
So that's why that we say a 20, 30, and 50 over here, because then if we got a bucket of money and let's just say they do something that we can take some tax advantage, that we can take money out of here, because at age 72, you got to take the money out of here.
Right.
Used to be 70 and a half. Yeah. So required minimum distributions. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
if you wonder what that is.
That's right. So because the IRS, like, we've given this to you, we've grown it, and that you'd think that they even plan for it, and now they want their tax money.
Mm-hmm.
So it all comes down to getting money out in the right way, in the most tax favorable way for you. All right. Because, tax planning is legal. Tax evasion is fraud. So
what we're trying to say is get your money in the right tax buckets that you want.
But just think about your buckets.
Yes.
And so one of the things that we're going to offer is that we have a checklist that you can look at all your accounts, and it's really easy to do. And you can put your accounts and the amounts in this checklist, and then add up, and then you can see what percentages you are. And then if you need some help and some guidance, we can help start saving money in different places.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and that checklist is an email. So yeah, you could always email us at dartandlisa@gmail.com.
dartandlisa@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Just send us the email. Please send us a checklist.
Send it out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or as always, you can go on dartandlisa.com and go to our website and click chat with us. And then that will go to the scheduler, and you can chat. You can just schedule a little 15 or 30-minute call and talk a little further. Right, Dirt?
Yeah. Because everybody's situation is different. Everybody's is personal.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. We feel wholeheartedly about that. So tonight is not like a burst your bubble kind of night. It's just a little education of what really goes on. Like we're just, don't kill the messenger here. Right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And with like for you, it's like, well, I'll talk to my CPA about that. Well, I have a lot of CPAs we work with, and we love them, and they're needed. And we love to talk with them, with their CPAs. That's absolutely. We love collaborating. We want to work with the professional, and but we've gotten several calls over, especially the first year, and they go, well, I got someone who's made too much money. I want to put $42,000 in a SEP, and it's like, but that's to save money today. Here's another bubble buster. there's nothing magical about a 401k. It is not your retirement plan. It's just nothing. I mean, it's like people say, well, put your money here. But what's really important is how is it invested and how are you going to get income out of it? That's the two things. Before you sign up for a tax label, take note of this. How are you going to invest it and how are you going to get money out of it? Build your exit plan before you enter anything.
That's a great statement, Dart. Build your exit plan before you enter anything.
That's right. So it's like playing the games without the rules, So
Yes. But I hope that tonight was educational for y'all. I hope that was good. And this is
hope it's fun.
I hope it was fun.
That's right. Yeah.
We try to make it fun.
That's right.
I know that
Right.
stuff sounds serious. It's just the tip of the iceberg, but
Right.
But that's why we like the holistic approach. So
That's
we can
right.
just
Yeah.
look at the bird's eye view.
Every block of money needs a job to do. And,
Absolutely.
And so, it's really about, making sure because sadly, because of the lack of pensions and stuff, is that the burden of retirement income, the burden of retirement income is all on our shoulders. And so one of the things is that the taxes is really more important than the investment.
That is so true.
Right.
That is so true, Dart.
All right.
Thank you for just guiding us through that. I appreciate that. And I hope that y'all really enjoyed our show. And I hope you'll come back next week. I'm sorry, I didn't think to ask Dart to write us a song about taxes. But
Well, yeah, nobody wants to hear that.
nobody wants to hear that one.
Yeah. So
But we can't help it.
if it's about taxes, it would suck, right?
Oh, maybe. That could be good too. We can make it funny.
All right.
Okay,
All right.
we'll see you all next week.
All
Thank
right.
you for joining.
Appreciate y'all.
And bye.